Hey guys, welcome back to Shredcraft RC. I'm Cam, and today we are going to work on a project that I've been getting a lot of questions about. This is a WPL D12 K-Truck RTR, and people have been asking what's a good budget drift car, as in under $100 RC drift car. So, as with me, I like to say you gotta hot rod everything, and I couldn't keep my hands off, so I already started. I put in a low-C Mini B brushed motor and a Hobby Wing Quick Run 1620. If not, I'll put it in the description, but it's like their cheap brushed $16 ESC. And then I made this monoshock setup by simply putting standoffs in the top of the arms, and then I used a RWD RDX shock, stock plastic shock on top. It seems like that's gonna work. The other things I did was I screwed in both ends pretty far on these turnbuckles, a little bit on the tow rod to give it some tow out, and then both top rods to give it negative camber. I removed the stock ESC, of course. I'm using my own transmitter, and then I have a cheap gyro we'll throw in this, because the idea is going to be very budget DIY mods drift car. See if it can drift. I want to see if this will be able to drift on track, because normally we're used to kind of high-end to mid-range RC drift cars in the rear-wheel drive market. And that's another video I wanted to do, was kind of a cost breakdown between something like this versus a track-ready, let's say, RDX, because that's what I'm familiar with. So I got these wheels. These are M chassis wheels, so they're smaller than like a 1/9 1/10 wheel. It's still a 12 mil hex. I painted these and I think they turned out pretty rad. And then it's a drift tire, so these are quite a bit wider than the stock tires, if you can see. A little smaller in diameter, but way wider. So on the body, which isn't here right now because it's over in the paint booth drying, I put the wide body, or not really wide body, but body kit on it, and I want to keep it stock chassis and just do DIY mods. So I've already started here and clipped the knuckles. I think we're going to go stock knuckles for now. These are the stock hubs, and I'm going to have to trim these to use these 5 mil to 12 mil hex adapters, and these are cheap, just Amazon WPL wheel adapters, because these move in the hub because of the offset of these wheels is so deep. So I'm gonna go ahead and rectify that on these to run the 12 mil hex adapters. And then on the arms, these are the stock hinge pins, and they're pretty bad out of the box. The arms are sticky, so I pulled them out, sanded them down, and they're actually just cheap, like soft steel. So I bent them. They were bent, so I bent them to fit in the toe blocks they have under here, which are these two parts, and kind of ream these plastic pieces out to take all the flash off, so they kind of slide easier into these holders. And that, of course, that one's still got some friction. I don't know if they're ever going to be right, but they were even hard to get out. And then on the arms, it's going to be hard to see on the GoPro here, but I sanded down all the friction points, these two little spacers too. Just use some fine grit paper and just smooth off all the flash, because those parts are going to be rubbing on each other. So just simple DIY, don't have to buy anything minus the hex adapters if you want to run these wheels. You could also throw electrical tape over these tires and probably be fine. In fact, we could try that. So I may trim a little off these plastic housings, because in the future I want to do a video just kind of doing basic metal upgrades. This is all plastic, minus this tiny leaf spring that's hardly anything. So they make a metal axle, and they make a metal drive shaft, and then it has metal internals, metal spool in here. So that was like 19 bucks. So figure that was a worthy investment for this. So we're going to try to keep everything kind of under $100 drift build. Other things I did is I C-notched the rear here so the axle could go up, and then I raised the axle by one spacer in the rear. So pretty simple, still stock servo. Once I get this stuff buttoned back up, and smooth and operating, I will assemble it all and show you what it looks like put back together. But I'm going to go ahead and finish up some of these trimming mods on the front axle and rear axle just to bring the offset in a little bit, and we'll go from there. But I hope you guys are stoked as I am for a budget RC drift car build. Stay tuned. Here's kind of stage one or step one of stock modifications on the WPL D12 drift truck. So all kind of basic stock parts minus the shock and the ESC, which you could do this all with stock parts. So shortened up the top arm, also shortened up the toe arm. So here's a look at the stock angle with these wide wheels. It's not like the RDX, but I think these big fat tires may cause some issues. So something I'll keep playing with, and the stock wheels can always go back on. So all I have to do now is get the gyro and receiver mounted up, and then we can see if it slides. The rear has the little notch there so it can get full compression, and then I moved one of the shims above the spring and one's below. So very stock, very budget friendly RC drift truck build. So next clip, maybe we'll see if it'll slide around, get some electronics mounted up and a battery, and see what this thing can do. Here is kind of the final chassis at this point. Everything's plugged in, turned on, and as you can see, full steering. Brushed motor. And there it is. WP D12 DIY, mostly stock parts, RC drift chassis. Budget friendly, cheap. The question is, will it drift? So, will it drift with simple mods out of the box? I'd go ahead and say, yeah, that was pretty fun. It was pretty easy to control and whip around, and really stock arms, stock turnbuckles, stock servo, just a gyro, mini B brushed motor, brushed ESC, my receiver, monoshock. There wasn't even a body on it yet, but it was whipping, so that gives me confidence that it can drive. So yeah, I'm gonna give you guys a little teaser here for the body because I'm not gonna show it yet, but there's the interior. Sprayed some red. I think that's gonna be a nice contrast with the body color I went with. So you know, leave your guesses below. Tell me what color you think I painted the body, and make sure you hit the thumbs up button if you like what you see, and stay tuned for part 2 where I'll get the body fitted, show you how I made it work with these wide wheels, wide tires. But yeah, just want to say thanks for checking out the video, and if you like what you see, subscribe. I'll be continuing these budget build videos with the WPL D12 RC drift car. Let me guys know other ideas of what you want to see done to this, and catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching. See ya.